The Eagles scored 3 touchdowns from the 30-yard line in. Saquon Barkley had the dagger run.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Goedert, the touchdown, 17-yard touchdown pass. And then the tush push, there it was. Baltimore got inside the 25, 30. A couple of those times, Lamar got sacked.
Yeah.
And then Tucker missed some kicks. So we can say, yes, the kicks hurt. They did. No doubt about it. Stings the nostrils, as Ron Burgundy would say. But, Zach, I think that was the bigger part here. Against good teams, beatable teams, you have to get it in the end zone, and that really was the difference down the stretch. Baltimore beat them in every other category except the one we're getting 6 and getting pay dirt. That was the difference in my mind before we talk about the whole Tucker thing.
I talked about on Kevin and Zach React last night. The offense did Tucker and them no favors. You know, we had the ball inside the 20 and you take a 15-yard sack. Suddenly that first field goal, well, yes, Justin Tucker's going to tell you he needs to make that 10 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that's the exact same kick from the 20 instead of the 30, it's in. So now, yes, Tucker, like I said, is going to say that he needs to make it, and he should. But the offense put the special teams unit, you know, the other missed kick after a sack, you know, you lose yardage. You put yourself behind the sticks, and it impacts the rest of the game. You know, special teams unit, not only the missed kicks, but times where the Eagles were able to down it within the 5-yard line on punts, and now you're setting the offense back behind the 8 ball. So it just felt like all those games where the Ravens were doing everything well except for finishing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be a good drive. You would get down. We saw the one drive where I really felt was telling. The Ravens run the ball with Derrick Henry pretty much all the way to the 50-yard line, then 3 straight passes. And it was like there was no need to do that. Just finish the drive how you were starting it. They got down to the red zone, they got to the 30s, and they got too cute. It just felt like they got too cute. They got in their head, and it led them to negative yards that ended up hurting them.
Let's start with Dan Orlovsky talking about Lamar Jackson after this game. It's about the MVP conversation, but really about Lamar's play the last few weeks. So let's play it for you guys.
To remember, like 3 weeks ago, when Lamar Jackson was having one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And all of a sudden now, he's not. That Steeler game, it didn't look so good. And then yesterday, the numbers look good. If you just look at his numbers yesterday, he had over 300 yards of total offense. He had 2 touchdowns, but it didn't look right. What did we see?
Lamar played poorly, and that's the second time in 3 weeks. Egregious misses. I thought some egregious misses. I thought he didn't see the field clearly and then tried to do too much. We've seen Lamar try to kind of go and make things happen down in the red zone. Justin Tucker missed kicks, but I think he hurt Justin Tucker by some of those sacks. This is an egregious miss. I mean, if he hits likely here, this might be a touchdown, but that's a poor miss. The sprint out to Zay Flowers on 3rd down is wide open. That ball doesn't get tipped. It just looks like it. I thought he forced some throws, and so this is, I think Lamar in the last 3 weeks has played himself out of the lead of the MVP conversation. Again, egregious misses, forced throws. I think he was running around trying to do too much, and he was trying to win the game in one play, and that's what hurt their offense.
So that situation I talked about earlier, Zach, with the Ravens being in that red zone area at the 20, 25-yard line, and Lamar did take 2 costly sacks. Now it's pick your poison, right? Because Lamar, no one's better than Lamar Jackson at extending a play, getting out of the sack. But in those cases, with what Tucker's situation ended up being, it added on to it. And he did have some misses. Now, personally, though, I'm not going to say that Lamar Jackson, of all these cases, yes, the Steelers game, weird game. We talked about that. If we're comparing between Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson here, Lamar, to me, played better than Jalen, but Jalen was the one that made maybe less mistakes. I think that's just the way to say it. And not saying mistakes turnover-wise. No turnovers in the game. Sacks. Taking what's needed. Jalen Hurts ran the ball when he needed to, right? So it's little stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what's glaring out to it. And I'm not even going to say it's Lamar's games the last 2 weeks. We know this. Your team wins, and you're the quarterback for the team that's winning games. That's the biggest takeaway from it. You know, we'll talk about Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I know Lamar wants some back. Do you want to say a comment before we show Lamar talking about his performance?
Real fast, because I think it is one of those things in the statement that I agree with most from Dan is the fact that Lamar was trying to win the game on a single play. The number of times yesterday when there was a guy open in the flat, there was a guy in the check down, it was take the 5 yards and move on. Take what they're giving you and move on. The stuff that Lamar Jackson had been doing so well earlier in this season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had raved about it, that the fact that Lamar's taking what the defense is giving it, whether it's, we'll get into it, running lanes, whether it's, hey, they're giving me the 5-6 yard out. Hey, they're giving me the Justice Hill check down that's going to get 6 yards and keep us ahead of the chains. Instead of taking those, he was, okay, let's try to force this deep shot to Nelson Aguilar twice. Hey, let's go take a shot down to a covered Mark Andrews. You know, they started taking these deep shots saying, okay, we got to get back in the game. And it felt like they were playing a game that wasn't happening. You know, they were playing in a game that felt like, okay, we got to score all these points. And you're like, hey, it's a 2-point game. You know, don't stick to what you do. Take the checkdowns. And I think that's what's most frustrating was you saw signs of it. The screen passes to Derrick Henry that were getting loose. Derrick Henry getting the ball. Like you said, there was not a lack of touches for Derrick Henry. It just felt like the Ravens offense stalled at times, like they were taking too many deep shots, trying to go for it all too many times. And like we're about to talk about, a lot of opportunities that people felt that, hey, Lamar Jackson, yes, we think you are an incredible passer. The strides he has taken in his career are incredible. And I think he's one of, you know, he leads the league in passing yards, all that. He's one of the best passers there. Lamar Jackson's running ability is the most gifted athlete to ever step in this league, is what separates him at the quarterback position. And we'll talk about this now and react to it. Was people were wondering why Lamar didn't take off a few more times when he had opportunities they felt like could really take over this game.
Exactly. I mean, look, this was one of the times where, and I feel for Lamar, where it's always there's someone that wants to critique him on something. Hey, you need to throw the ball better. That's going to prove the doubters wrong. And he is great at improvising. And he's even talked about how he wants to extend plays.
Yeah.
But still, his one gift that he has that is just so much more spectacular than any other player on the planet, especially the one that plays quarterback, is his ability to extend plays with his feet. And actually, after the game, post-game, people asked him about that, and his mom had an interesting reaction for Lamar Jackson. So let's play that clip for you.
Opportunities to run today for you that you may have passed up.
Yeah, my mama just told me that. She just cussed me out. So like I'm mad. So like we gonna get after it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna get after it. I can't wait till this ball get on. Like we got the Giants coming up. I'm ready to go. Like I'm just ready to go, man.
I think he's ready to go.
I would say so.
And he's pissed. But you know what? That was the one thing. If you watched the game yesterday, there was some lanes where, again, you're saying, hey, take the 5 yards. If it was a quick dump off, or, hey, nothing's coming available down the field, you don't need the big play right now, just slowly you're going to take it away. And it's just little punches and little punches there. Then the big blow can happen.